Oh my god. I can feel the rain. Oh, that's crazy. What the fuck? Lol. I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can probably see it on the screen. That feels nuts. What the... And like... That feels like rain. That's crazy. Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the bhaptics tack suit and arms. If you don't know what the bhaptics tack suit is, it's a haptic feedback vest for VR. It lets you feel a variety of sensations for greater immersion, like the recoil from a gun, getting slashed with a sword, rain falling on your body, and you can even use it in things like VRChat to get a virtual hug from your friends. I've been testing it out for about a week now, so I feel comfortable enough to talk about this vest, which is probably the most advanced consumer haptic feedback vest on the market currently. This video will be split up into 3 parts. First, I'll be going over what you get in the box and the initial setup and impressions. Next, I'll be going over some of the games that I used with the vest and if it actually improved the experience. And finally, I'll talk about if it's actually worth the investment of your hard-earned money. There'll be timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip to any section. Anyways, on to the bhaptics tack suit review. So before I get started, I just wanted to mention that I was not sponsored by bhaptics. I purchased the vest and arm attachments entirely out of my own pocket because I wanted to give you guys a completely unbiased review of this product. Alright, so the bhaptics box is packaged very nicely. It feels very premium and the vest itself feels like it's made out of very good material. Also, it's not like fashion matters that much while you're in VR, but I do feel like the vest actually looks kind of stylish to wear. Other than the vest, you get a long USB-C to USB-A cord, along with a Bluetooth dongle if you don't already have one, as all of the bhaptics gear connect via Bluetooth 4.0. You also get a setup manual, and I don't have footage of me unboxing the arms, but they're packaged similarly with shorter USB-C to USB-A cords and another Bluetooth dongle. Setting it up is incredibly easy. You just download their software, start it up, and turn on the suit. You don't need to fiddle with any Bluetooth settings, and it just connects instantly, which I love. The app also has some cool features like being able to turn on an overlay so you can get some visual feedback on the haptic points. You can also change it to audio to haptics with one click and even make your own settings for how you want the haptics to work. As far as general comfort, I felt it was relatively comfortable given the fact that there are 40 haptic points that's going to be pressed up against your body. It can get a little bit restricting and heavy after a while if you like to move around a lot, but it wasn't that bad, and the vest also comes with a sweat protection built in. bhaptics also sells spare sweat linings on their website if you happen to want another one. It is one size fits all, and I had some of my friends try it on, and it was pretty easy to adjust the fit of the vest. So a negative with this vest that I haven't seen many other YouTubers mentioning is the sound leakage. So the intensity of the vest can be adjusted with the app, but I noticed right away that at the default of 100%, there was this really annoying high-pitched buzzing sound coming from it, and I could even hear it with the Vive headphones on. So after I turned the vest intensity up, I noticed that the high-pitched noise diminished, but there was still like a low vibration sound coming from it. This really won't be a huge issue in a lot of VR games because you'll have music or gun sounds or whatever else going off in the game, so you shouldn't actually hear it. But the bhaptics devs do recommend closed ear headphones to use with this. So if you are on a Valve Index with the open ear headphone design, there is a possibility that you will hear the vibrations coming from the vest even in the game. So that is something to be aware of if you were interested in getting this vest and you have an index. I don't have an index myself, so I couldn't verify that that's the case. But I do know that the vest is a little bit loud. Alright, I'm going to talk about some of the games I tried out with the vest. I didn't try all of them, but there is a pretty large library of natively supported games, and there's also a lot of community-made mods to get support for a variety of games as well. And if something doesn't happen to have support, you can also use audio to haptics, and the bhaptics devs have even made a variety of profiles for that so you can get a good experience. So I'll start off with Blade&Sorcery. For this one, you will need to use a mod made by Shozoff, who made a lot of the bhaptics integration mods and is an awesome Skyrim and Fallout modder in general. So when I was using spells, I could actually feel the spell charging up through my arm, which I thought was a pretty cool feeling. I could feel swords and arrows hitting my body, and I think it did actually help me fight a little bit better because I had more situational awareness. For example, depending on the side of my body that I got hit from, I could instantly feel the direction and could counterattack. You get haptic feedback on the arms when swinging your own weapons as well, and one of the cooler feelings was holstering a weapon on my back. It legitimately felt like there was actually something being put on my back now, so I definitely love that feeling. I'm gonna give Blade&Sorcery's haptic interaction an 8 out of 10. Alright, moving on to FalloutVR. This had one of the better haptic integrations, at least from the few games that I tried. So I could actually feel weather in the game like you saw from the intro, and I could feel the rain in my body. I wouldn't say it was necessarily realistic because obviously a haptic vest can't make my body actually wet, but I feel like it did add something to the immersion, and it kind of fooled my brain, at least for a few seconds, into thinking I was actually outside in the rain. You also get some haptic feedback from radiation in the world, which was pretty interesting, and you can feel the recoil from shooting a gun, and actually starts in your arms and then it'll travel up into your chest, so it feels pretty realistic to me. Now, one of the weirdest things, and this happens with SkyrimVR too, is eating food and drinks in the game. You can now actually feel the food going down into your stomach. It was kind of bizarre. I wouldn't say I disliked it. It was just something that I was not expecting to feel in a video game. So that was kind of a crazy feeling. I'm giving FalloutVR haptics a 9 out of 10. This was one of the games that I think benefited the most from haptic feedback, and I really enjoyed it in this game in particular. Okay, SkyrimVR. Like Fallout, you will need to use a mod. You can feel weather just like in Fallout, and you can also feel water. So when you go for a swim, you do get some feedback. Again, I wouldn't say it really felt like water, but I do think that it added something to the experience and helped to immerse you a little bit more. So with Skyrim, if you have the arms, you get haptic feedback when drawing an arrow. You can also feel haptic points on your chest when you're getting attacked, etc. You can also feel spells when they're charging up, just like in Blade&Sorcery. And just like Fallout, you get the haptic points when drinking and eating food in the game. It's just kind of the weirdest feeling in the world, but I did enjoy it for what it was. Skyrim is a bit of a slow-moving game though, so you only really get feedback at certain points, like in combat or eating something or charging a spell, just like I said. So I think the vest did add something to the experience, but I also don't think that it's super necessary to have to have a good time with the game. I'm gonna give Skyrim a haptic integration an 8 out of 10. Finally, I tried VRChat. So for VRChat, you will need to use a mod just like the other games. I'll leave a link for that in the description along with all the mods that I used in this video. And you will also have to add the Unity package to your avatar if you plan to use your own model. So in VRChat, you get feedback when people touch you in the game. So if one of your friends touches you in the arm or gives you a virtual hug in game, you will feel it. So you can now literally get a virtual hug over the internet from an anime person. This is the future, guys, where we did it. There's nothing left. Anyways, you'll also get feedback from environmental effects or avatar effects. Like if you go to a world that has a wind effect or someone uses an animation to shoot you or light you on fire or something, you will literally feel that. So it can even be a little bit too much and overstimulate your body. So just be aware of that if you're gonna be using this vest in VRChat. It does have one of the more powerful haptic integrations. I'm gonna give VRChat a 9 out of 10 for the integration. I liked it. I definitely think that it did add some immersion in the game, and you can hug your VR friends, which is pretty cool. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Is the vest worth it? So straight up, for like your average casual VR user, no, I don't think the vest is worth it at this price point. I think there's really two types of people that will actually benefit from a haptic feedback vest like this, and that's going to be VR content creators and the hardcore VR enthusiast crowd. But let's talk about it. So first is the price. The bhaptics tack suit is $500. The arm attachments are $250 for the pair. And if you're going to actually invest money into a suit like this, you probably want to get the arms of the vest, because if you just get the vest alone, that's only really giving you half the experience. Most of the games and experiences with support for the bhaptics work in tandem with the vest and arms. So like you'll get feedback on your arms and it'll travel up and go to your chest, etc. So if you're only using the vest, you will not experience a lot of the haptic feedback in games. So in total, you're looking at around $750 US. That is an expensive amount of money to pay for something that is essentially just a VR peripheral. And I genuinely don't think that it's necessary for you to have a good experience in VR games, especially at a time where the technology for haptic feedback vests is so young. You know, we're only really in the beginning of haptic feedback vests. VR headsets have been around for a few years, but feedback vests like this it's just a new technology. Now, there is some benefits for people streaming or making videos on VR like myself, because there's an overlay view like I went over before, so your followers can see where you're being attacked from in the game, and it can make your streams and videos a little bit more interesting. And then for people that are hardcore into VR, like VR is basically the only type of media you consume, this vest will definitely add some immersion for sure. So if you're willing to spend a ton of money to get basically the best type of VR experience on the planet right now, then yes, I think it would be worth it for that. Especially, you know, if you look at how much money people are spending on flight simulators or something similar, that can range, you know, from like $3,000 to I've seen ones for like $10,000 for like a really high-end flight simulator. So if you really want the best type of VR experience, then yeah, I think you would definitely get some benefit from this. At the end of the day, though, for your average person who sometimes uses VR on the weekends or something, no, I really don't think the vest is worth it. And I don't want to recommend something to you guys where you might be disappointed with the purchase. But, you know, if you really are into VR or you can find this used or something, yeah, go for it. You know, it helps add in games. It does add immersion, for sure. So I think that it would be worth it in those specific cases for VR content creators and for people hardcore into VR. But for the average person, no, I would not recommend that you get this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and review on the bhaptics suit and arms. I'll leave a link for their website down below, along with all the mods that were used in the games. I stream VR pretty frequently at twitch.tv/GingasVR, so if you feel inclined, please check me out there. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye!